Hi, and welcome to this year's first Three Legs, Four Wheels F1 podcast. It's Paul here with
Sean,
Kieran,
and Lee.
Well, we've had Thursday news. Anyone managed to get a grip on what the hell's going on?
things, lots of things.
picture moves by the hour.
Well, I mean, at least we've had a definite statement now. So Lewis Hamilton has announced that he's leaving Mercedes at the end of the 2024 season and going to Ferrari. Although there was a 10-minute gap between press releases, 11-minute gap, where he didn't have a team.
World champion without portfolio. I'm off. Where to?
I mean, did anyone see this coming? Because I mean, the Hamilton to Ferrari rumours have been going on as long as there's been Hamilton in F1.
I thought he'd retire. I thought he'd retire with Mercedes, and I like if Mercedes did a dud this year, because I'm sure there was an interview or something with Hamilton where someone spoke to him and he said, "Oh, if he has a difficult year next year, it might be difficult this year. It might be difficult to motivate himself to carry on." And so obviously he's had, this Ferrari deal has been brewing in the background when he said that. But it feels like it's come out of the blue for people, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it only started getting talked about. It's 10 to 9 now, and it only started really getting talked about at about 11 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, but the funny thing was, when it was talked about this afternoon, it was kind of like nothing's confirmed, but this is happening. It makes me wonder whether the who was it that leaked that Lando might be going to Ferrari.
Oh, Adam Hay Nichols, friend of the podcast.
Oh yeah.
So careful what you say, friend of the podcast.
No. I just wonder whether something's been said to somebody about British driver going to Ferrari, and they put 2 and 2 together and come up with Lando, and Lando happened to be 3.
Oh yeah. And it was just, had Lando not had that deal announced half an hour later, you'd be looking at that going, that's a tasty bit of gossip, isn't it? But it just so happened that tweet went out just as that happened, and he had to go, oh shit, delete.
Yeah, I think Lando and McLaren announcing his contract was directly in response to that rumor.
You reckon it's sort of pretty much done, but maybe they sort of moved it up the order just to quieten it down.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like all the sort of media stuff was done for it in advance anyway, because they were very quick to put the video releases out, and sort of by the end of that afternoon, Lando in considerably better weather than was happening that day as well. I happened to notice, talking about how excited he was for his new deal. So this was obviously something that was done a while back, but yeah, he should have put 2 and 2 together and made 44.
Absolutely. I must admit, before we talk more about the Hamilton thing, I was very happy that Lando isn't going to Ferrari.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? I don't know about Ferrari. I guess he probably suits Mercedes better. His culture, he's got a more of a Mercedes style culture. He wouldn't have suited Ferrari at all. But had that deal not been announced last week, how many headlines would you be reading today now of Lando going to Mercedes 2025? It would be the first name everyone comes up with. But you can't now because he's signed up. So
yeah, but Hamilton had a contract until the end of 2025.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I wonder if Lando's thinking to himself oh, maybe you should have held out for a couple of weeks here.
Yeah.
No, I think he's holding out for Red Bull, and he's going to replace Max when Max retires in 2 years' time. I think
that's Lando was contracted up to 25, wasn't he?
26. The new one.
26. So if he signed an extension with McLaren, that's
his new one's up to 26. It was in a contract year this year, and he's now signed for an extra minimum 2 years.
Right. Okay. Because I think that deal might take him past when Max retires, especially if it's going to be 6, if it's going to be 26, like people suggest.
You can usually get out of the last year of a deal, though, can't you? There's usually some kind of severance agreement.
Well, like Lewis seems to have got, he's got a clause, which I guess that clause said if I'm not in the top 2 in the title this year, I don't have to hang around till 2025. And lo and behold, he's not.
Like every time Alonso changes teams, because I think the only contract he's ever seen out was at Ferrari.
No, his last the last go at Renault proper was he filled his whole contract out there because it was only for a year.
He had a 24-month contract with an iPhone on T-Mobile once. He saw that out to completion. Got a tasty little upgrade as well. And WAP.
Yeah, we'd just like to point out other mobile companies are available. Unless you're over.
No, they're not. T-Mobile's the best. As someone who's looking for an upgrade on his current shabby iPhone 13, I'd like to reach out to T-Mobile and Pringles whilst I'm here to say.
Yeah, once you pop, you're eating crisps. Anyway, going.
I might have nicked that line off you at several parties of the last couple of years.
Going back to Lewis Hamilton, it's going to be a massive change for him because he's never raced in a Grand Prix without a Mercedes engine powering him.
No, he hasn't, has he? No.
Because I did notice in the statement that Mercedes put out, there was 2 lines of stats, one for everything with the Mercedes team and one for Mercedes power, deliberately trying not to mention McLaren in the slightest.
It means there's only one remaining race driver who has only raced with Mercedes power his entire career, Mr. Logan Sargent.
George
Not
Russell.
Quite the title you'd want.
Oh, that's a good point.
Al Russell, yeah, shit. There's only 2 drivers.
But only one of them has been on this show.
Have we asked Logan Sargent, though?
No. We probably should. Logan, if you're listening, get in touch. So yeah,
if you're listening. More chance of Terry Wogan listening than Logan.
Hey, you never know who's listening to this.
Yeah. Sorry, I keep thinking it's my radio show. Yeah, my radio show is mine, Dad. Did I fuck?
Who listens to local radio? I'm not going to finish that sentence because I am getting looks across the room.
One of my colleagues has actually just found out that the Lieutenant Governor listens to Breakfast because he gave him some banter at an event, which we didn't know the Governor did banter, so there you go.
Moving on to Isle of Man politics. For anyone that doesn't know, the Lieutenant Governor is the Queen's voice on earth over it. The King's voice on earth over it. Was the Queen's voice on earth when he got the job.
He does seances.
And he's usually somebody incredibly posh.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think the prize for second prize for upper class twit of the year is Lieutenant Governorship of the Isle of Man. Can we talk about Formula One, please?
Yeah, sure.
So Ferrari have a reputation of destroying drivers a little.
Yeah, especially in recent years.
Good point. I genuinely, I hadn't even thought about their driver braking escapades.
They have become sort of the home of rest for old champions, haven't they? I mean, probably Vettel went there, didn't do much. Alonso kind of, I think, got the best out of it he could, but didn't get his title. Raikkonen sort of just seemed to kind of be happy to poodle about there. It does seem to be, for some reason, all the champions want to go there and sort of prove themselves, and we can fix him. No, you can't, because it's Ferrari and they're Ferrari.
And all the people who think they would one day be champion. Lewis being walked down the corridors of Maranello going, some of the finest drivers have driven here. Luca Badoa, Nicola Marini, Nico Salo, and the rest.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with Ferrari, because if they employ the best drivers, but somehow don't seem to get the best out of them anywhere close. Is it the car? Is it the strategy? Is it the culture? I guess when you move to Ferrari, you have to do things the Ferrari way. Now, Lewis is a very, I'm trying to be subtle here, independent spirit who does things the way that he wants to do them.
Yeah.
And how is that going to fit with an incredibly staid, traditional, old school Maranello?
It won't.
No. I mean, the only thing I'd say is does this show that they don't have faith in Leclerc? Because if that's the case, then maybe he's just been offered whatever he wants to come.
I wouldn't want to be Leclerc right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine being Leclerc is probably a bit better than being Lee Stevens, so I'd take the chance. But I get it.
But can you get a T-shirt of Charles Leclerc being a fairy sitting on a flower?
I don't think you can. I really
Fairy Leclerc. It doesn't work.
No, there's probably one on Etsy.
There'll be one in Canva by the time this episode ends if I get my work on.
If we want to do Formula One drivers as cakes, we can definitely do Charles Leclerc.
Hey!
Yeah, I mean, Leclerc's been on the Ferrari program since forever, really.
Since puberty, I think.
Yeah.
And as every year goes past, he's looking less and less likely to become a champion. I'm joining in.
Not
with
to
you
me.
saying that.
Not to me.
No, he's never looked like being a champion to you.
No.
I thought he had the potential.
I think he has the potential. He just doesn't have the execution right now. That's not to say he won't ever have the execution, but he needs a Button in a Brawn, a Max in a Red Bull. He needs one of those things where car comes together with driver and happenstance and, the time of the decade where it just so happens that the Ferrari is 2 seconds quicker than everyone else and his teammate is, I don't know,
Lewis Hamilton, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, good point. Miss Nagy actually died today, didn't it? Anyway, congrats on the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th world titles of Lewis Hamilton's. That's right. He'll win 6 more. No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I just don't know if I can see where you're coming from, Lee, because I just don't know where Leclerc's fitting into all this, because he's going to be instantly number 2'd.
Yeah, that as of today, he is Ferrari's future number 2 driver.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter if they put everything behind him this year, and even if he's got the number 1 on his car in 2025, it'll be the most symbolic number 1 since Damon Hill and Arrows.
I think that, yes, very, very good point. I think that's probably the only way he could walk in on like a real equal footing with Lewis is if something like that happened. He's what I will say is that it doesn't fill me full of confidence with what Mercedes is going to bring out, because something has shown Lewis that this is worth a punt. Now, it's one of 3 things. Either it's the truck full of money that Ferrari kept unloading at his house, with him going, no, I'm staying at Mercedes, and no, we're not finished yet, and they just keep going until he goes, oh, all right then.
With that sound effect.
Yeah. Then there's the George Russell thing. I know, like, Lewis Hamilton fans that listen to this podcast will scoff at the mere thought that Lewis Hamilton could be looking over his shoulder, thinking, "Oh, he beat me first year. He was like Lewis was quicker last year, but I still think George has headroom to grow as a driver." So when you and I think isn't it something ridiculous that when you go over the season between Lewis and George, there's sort of like less than a tenth between them on average, or something ridiculous.
It was something ridiculously small.
Yeah, they were the closest margin of any driver pairing, on the field. There was a third point I had in my head as well for what it could be, but I've forgotten it. But I worry now whether Mercedes have they gone down the wrong road again? Are we going to see, as much as they've been saying about the whole reinvention of the car, and we're going to, where we know where we've gone wrong? Are we going to see like a side podless, less Ferrari, Mercedes again on the grid? And
apparently we're not. I mean, we will get to find out in a couple of weeks when the launches start coming. But by all accounts, Mercedes doesn't look like a deflated Dalek anymore.
I won't lie. I think that car looks great.
Mm.
Yeah, but to quote a line from Hitchhikers, looks like a fish, moves like a fish, steers like a cow.
I love the black always looked great. They shouldn't have gone back to the silver. It always looked best in the black. But the actual design itself, I don't know. I didn't like the non-side pods as much as I like the side pods, which is mad because I think if you showed someone who'd never seen an F1 car before, which of these two do you like, you'd point at the one without the side pods all day.
Yeah, which is quicker.
Design. Yeah, well, that's the thing as well. It makes total sense, doesn't it? If that's the case, but it's going to be awkward next week, isn't it? At Silverstone or wherever they do it, where they go, ladies and gentlemen, the new Mercedes with your drivers, George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, but George Russell.
And Mick Schumacher.
and Esteban Gutierrez.
This isn't like, I promise this isn't like an anti-Hamilton thing. This is less anti-Hamilton, more pro-drama.
That could have been the storyline for the last 5 years in my book.
I could live with a season this year that sees Lewis winless. So he goes 3 years on the bounce without a win in Formula One, and then has to go to Ferrari in 2025.
Oh, yeah.
Not anti-Hamilton, pro-drama.
I mean, the thing is, I think what I think your third point could have been was maybe Ferrari showed him the concept for this year's car, and we all know that the 2025 cars are just going to be pretty much an evolution of what we see on track this year because of the new regs coming in 2026, which no team is allowed to start working on until the 1st of January 25.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wonder if the thought of what Ferrari were promising appealed to him more than what Mercedes were going to offer, because obviously he'd have seen the Mercedes car all the way through the development stage and known it was going to do. And I think he's meant to be going into the factory tomorrow and doing a simulator run, which is something that he says he rarely does.
Even rarer now.
Which that tells me that this year's Mercedes is going to be a hell of a lot different to last year's if Lewis is actually going to drive it in the sim.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's going to have to get used to completely different behaviours around the car. So, have Ferrari tempted him with their magic bins?
I don't, however much time he spends in that Mercedes, whether it's an evolution that he's put effort into, or whether or not it's going to be better than the Ferrari this year or not, what that is essentially is a day where mentally he's on Italian right move. There's no two ways around. He's currently looking down Gianni Morbidelli Avenue, going, I'll take the six bedroom one over there. Oh right, sorry, drive the car. Yeah, drive's fine. Yeah. What's Tinder in Italian? Google that.
Latindro or something like that?
Yes. It's a Tinder. Oh, I can't. I did.
I'm getting worried about Lee. He keeps dropping off the call and reappearing, which is kind of a worry because we're on his StreamYard account and it seems to still record.
You're right there,
Lee. No, sorry. I just had to. Plug. I've swapped my laptop out for a Legion Go, so I just had to put on charge. Sorry, it's okay. It's fine. It's good.
I thought you were going to say you're recording this on a Stream Deck now. Oh, what the hell?
Oh, hit record. That's what we're meant to do.
Basically, you missed us taking the piss out of what Lewis is going to be doing while he's driving the sim.
Oh, sorry. I know I heard it all. I could hear it. Yeah.
Right.
My thoughts are with sort of those Lewis fans on Twitter who bought every piece of Mercedes merch going, who, because it's Lewis, they just automatically hate George Russell for some reason, and now they have to justify owning it all or try and sell it, in a batch lot on eBay for 45 quid.
The thing is, they do like a new collection every year, don't they? So they were going to buy a new collection next year anyway. It'll just happen to be a different colour now.
There'll be an email from Mercedes in the morning saying, "New, the Lewis Hamilton go fuck yourself range." This week.
Yeah,
the 44s look like middle fingers.
Yeah, you can buy the one official T-shirt.
I don't think I've got Twitter open on my phone here, and there's the mock-up picture of that's turned up on of Lewis in a Ferrari outfit. I know it's always jarring, isn't it, to see Formula One drivers in different outfits. Not Alonso. We're kind of used to it. It's more like what's the next range?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of jarring to see Alonso in the same race suit on 2 consecutive seasons.
Yeah, it is. But Lewis looks so odd in a Ferrari, I think
possibly that's because I don't think they've photoshopped the suit onto him. I think they photoshopped his head onto Sainz's body.
Yeah, probably.
What's that film with Nicolas Cage?
Face Off.
Yeah. They faced off Lewis Hamilton.
Of course, the big question is, who's going to replace him at Mercedes? I have theories.
I have shared a theory on Twitter that is purely the drama theory, which is Alonso.
I mean, it's one of the few.
Imagine Alonso and Toto having a row on Drive to Survive.
It might make it worth watching again.
Yes.
R.I.P. Gunter.
He's going to get a spin-off. He'll be fine.
Gunter and Benotto doing some sort of BBC Two style big wine adventure,
Hey, I've watched that.
PBS, in a Fiat 500. Where are we going today, Gunter? Well,
fucked if I know.
Fucked if I know. Stupid piece of shit sat nav. They got lost for 9 hours. Sorry, where's he? I don't think Alonso's necessarily it is the drama thing, isn't it? But
well, yeah, because everywhere he goes, there's drama.
It's the one I'd most like to see. I'd rather see Albon, but probably Alonso.
I mean, Christ, Alonso could turn up in Frasier, and it would become a drama. But I reckon Albon to Mercedes, Sainz will go to Sauber a year early before it becomes Audi. Bottas will retire. Zhou will keep his seat because the title sponsor stake is a Chinese company. So what better for them than to have a Chinese driver in the car? And then replacing Albon at Williams will be whoever does the best out of Freddie Vesti or Kimi Antonelli.
Yeah.
Kimi Antonelli is a great show because he looked very good last year was he in Frecker? Was that what he won?
Yeah, and he's moved straight up to F2, hasn't he? He's bypassed F3. So I reckon if Antonelli wins the F2 title, he will get the Williams seat at the expense of Freddie Vesti. Vesti does have the super license points.
Yeah.
But I think that's how that's going to play out. I mean, we've gone through sort of driver changes and silly season stuff, and we're a couple of minutes in, and we've not even mentioned what the bloody hell's going to happen to Perez.
This has took the heat off for a minute, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So Sainz's other option, which I don't think can be discounted, is Stroll deciding he wants to do something else with his life, and Sainz going to join Fernando at Aston Martin.
Yeah. Or, no, not to poo-poo that. I think that's good. I'm interested to see if, you know how, so for a while last year, we're talking about Albon going to Aston Martin because there'll be a seat there for him eventually at some point when Alonso quits or if Stroll does get bored and takes up, I don't know, competitive Pac-Man.
Disinherited.
Or his dad sells the team to the Andrettis.
Yeah. Or, something like that. What if Albon ended up going to Aston Martin to replace Alonso, who's going to Mercedes?
That would be fun.
Lee has wood. That sound was wood.
No, we've passed that stage.
Cat versus microphone.
The firm stage.
I'll be mixing that one down.
The firm stage was fleeting there.
I haven't got like my Swanee whistle with me. That's what I needed at that point.
Oh, you are so local radio.
Sorry. No, I think there's got to be opportunities at Aston Martin at some point in the next couple of years because there's going to be at Williams. There's going to be at least one seat at Williams because Albon is not going to be in that Williams in 2025. He will have gone somewhere, either taken the Mercedes seat or taken the gap filled by the person who's gone to Mercedes, be it, I don't know, Tsunoda. That's not going to be the one, is it? But someone, whoever goes off to Mercedes.
Unless Williams had done a brawl.
Of all the names I've seen linked to the Mercedes seat today, Tsunoda has not been one of them until this exact moment.
I'd like to strike that from the record, please. I do not think so.
No. Me and Flood have a theory on this.
Oh, Jesus.
We call it the Lee method. If you predict every single possible outcome, you can always say you're right.
Yep.
That is true.
And I'd like to welcome back to Mercedes. No, don't say that. Do not say that.
Nico.
Seconds away from Michael Schumacher there. Ex-Mercedes driver. Rosberg. It's Rosberg.
Did they ever give Grosjean his test drive?
No, I don't think they did. It was meant to happen, then COVID.
There you go. It could
and with good cause.
I did notice Grosjean and Ericsson were taking part in the same race and didn't hit each other in Daytona 24.
Did they hit anyone else?
I don't know. I fell asleep. But yeah, there's good. We've got no driver changes this year from last season,
and we're making up for it early.
Yeah, and we've already hit the 2025 silly season. It's not even summer.
It was always going to be mad, wasn't it?
Yeah, but this has to be, there's Lewis to Ferrari, has to be the biggest driver move in Formula One history.
Oh, yeah.
Has
completely agree. Yeah, you're right. Spot.
I would say it's equal with Schumacher to Ferrari.
No, because Schumacher wasn't Schumacher when he moved to Ferrari. He went to Ferrari and became the all-encompassing best in Formula One.
It just won two consecutive World Drivers' Championships. How much gooder do you have to be?
He's not sort of in kind of all-time records.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
At that point.
Yeah.
He is now, and Lewis is.
Alonso to McLaren first time round wasn't, groundbreaking like this. Also, this has caught us off hop as well. First day in February is never when the 7-time world champion who's gone through the dramas of the 2008 championship, moving to Mercedes, winning everything that came, the Rosberg thing, Abu Dhabi 2021, wherever it was. The Felipe Massa wants his title back now, please, Mr. Hamilton. All of that he's sort of gone through. So it's heightened the drama a bit, hasn't it? So this is in the Drive to Survive era. This is the episode of Corrie where the tram crashed into the shop. This is the big thing, isn't it?
And theoretically, Ferrari will still get Lewis Hamilton just at, I would say, the end of his peak before the competitive decline. He's not going there too late to operate at the highest level he can.
No, he's still got it.
Yeah, my only worry is that, I'm delving into the history again. It can go one of two ways. He's either going to Schumacher it and drag Ferrari out of nowhere to back to the front, or it's going to be Mansell.
Mansell McLaren, yeah.
Well, Mansell in a Ferrari.
Oh, all that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do think Lewis's arse will fit in next year's Ferrari.
Yeah, there is every chance of it. They probably built it with him in mind.
Well, they probably haven't built it yet.
Don't bet on it. This is Ferrari.
Again, it's not anti-Hamilton. It's pro drama. I think it might be a shit show because we know and we've seen over the years. You can almost tell when Lewis is going to have a good weekend by how he holds himself in interviews before the race even starts. I think he's very susceptible to team turmoil. We've seen the Lewis where his head drops, and look at the I know it's a long time ago now, but look at the 2008 season he had where he couldn't stop crashing into Felipe Massa. Was it Barrichello he kept collecting?
2011 he couldn't stop hitting Massa, was it?
Was it?
Yeah,
20.
Yeah.
The year of the "Don't touch me,"
There
man.
was a sort of light skirmish, wasn't there?
Yeah. Ferrari does not seem to be the place to be if your head can drop and it affects your performance.
Yeah, Ferrari do they've always liked the drivers to be personality-less robots.
Yeah.
God knows how Eddie Irvine managed for that long.
Different Ferrari though, wasn't it? I think back then Ferrari had its character, it had its gusto and its bravado, didn't it? And Eddie Irvine fitted well into that bravado side of Ferrari.
It was suave, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And all the sort of the big personality drama stuff. Hey, Eddie Irvine's making up for nowadays. So
yeah, that was
if you believe the webpage.
It turned up to your party uninvited and left with your hottest sister.
But Ferrari have never had two number one drivers, have they?
They claimed they did in Barrichello's last season. It was number one and driver A.
It's brilliant. We got two main drivers. One an A.
They didn't say which one was which, but how many titles has Barrichello got?
0. Yeah. Even watching we've just finished the Braun documentary a couple of months too late, admittedly, and the fact that there is a moment in that towards the end of the 3rd episode or start of 4th episode where the storyline goes towards, could Barrichello be champion? The fact that even got considered in the storyline is laughable, frankly. Could he? Let's see. No, he couldn't have done. But in 2008, they had Kimi was clearly their number one driver. It happened that the second driver did a lot better in the first third of the year, and they had to back that horse. Because if Ferrari end up backing 2 horses like McLaren did the year before, they'd have fucked themselves. They still fucked themselves. Well, they didn't really.
They could still win that one. You never know.
It's not over yet. 6 world titles. I had 7 a minute ago. I'm going backwards. No, but so Ferrari are not. If you said to one team on the grid, organise yourself to have 2 number one drivers, the last team you'd pick would be Ferrari because they struggle with 1 number one driver.
I'd just like to just jump in and make a quick personal apology. I was talking to long-time listener and all-round nice person Niska earlier, who is a massive Ferrari fan, and I did warn her the Ferrari bashing was going to start as soon as the mics got switched on.
She should be used to it. She'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
I like Ferrari.
Because they bring the drama.
Because they bring drama. That Rush film was good. Who was the person you were trash? She was nice person.
Oh, Lola Ferrari.
Lola Ferrari, yeah, I love Ferrari. Ferrari's great, you know. That Lola Ferrari, my puberty was sweet. What can I say?
Moving swiftly on before the lawsuits land. Andretti.
Oh, man.
If we're talking about drama and shit shows, there are many, many, many theories about why Andretti didn't get their spot on the grid for 2026.
Because he hasn't got as good a territory as MoneyGram.
No. I mean, he's no MoneyGram. But they've got, what was it? They got Hewlett Packard, who recently were valued, if you put all of their assets and their companies together, at $2 trillion. That's like an Austin Powers amount of money, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They've got, they already had Colton Herta signed up as their main driver. They've won just about everything they've been in. They might have won Extreme E as well, but nobody watches that, so we can't actually tell.
No.
But, you know, multiple champions across every single racing series that they've done. But Formula One, don't think
that's trying to break America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, expanded from 1 race to 3 and possibly 4 in the not too distant future, which we'll get to shortly, and I've got fucking opinions on that. Yeah, Formula One that's desperate to get into America has an American team that isn't performing, and they don't reckon that possibly the biggest name in American motorsports, it's either that or Earnhardt. They are the big 2 families in American motorsport, Andretti and Earnhardt. And Andretti want to come into Formula One with their name, their history, their reputation, their bloody team owner's dad's Formula One World Championship.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and you know, don't do down the one-time podium stander, Michael Andretti.
Yeah, a team owner that's actually been in Formula One, really. Yeah, apparently they're not going to be good enough and they're not going to perform well. Well, I'm sorry, Haas. Are they performing well?
Yeah.
You know,
if you're not having Andretti, we lose Haas, we lose Stake, Alfa Romeo, Kick, Sauber, whether they're called nowadays. You lose Alpha Tauri, Visa, Kaching, Bingo, that lot as well.
And if anyone's seen that, I don't know if they've used it on Twitter, but their Threads handle, it really does look like whoever was coming up with it had a stroke midway through. Visa, Cash App, RB, blah, blah, blah.
Lovely.
It's mad.
What FOM want is a team to come in and be mid-grid straight away and then challenge for podiums within a few years.
Which is that not what Haas were going to do, though? You know, they let Haas in on that basis, and Haas nearly got a podium in 2018 at Austria, which was 2.5 years in. They got 4th place in the end, and that would have been exactly what they wanted for a Formula One team to come in and do, get a podium eventually. But it seems like they just want someone to come in and immediately be Ferrari or Mercedes or McLaren or Red Bull. It's mad. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
I think it's just greed.
Yeah, I just don't see how they can have expectations like that.
It wasn't so long ago we were just praying another team would come in, and they were allowing teams like Hispania and what was Marussia came
Virgin Mana Marussia.
Yeah. We had 2 different Lotus teams in the fight for Lotus supremacy.
Two bold men fighting over a comb.
Yeah.
What I found in my I've been unpacking stuff in my sort of little office thing I've got here. I found the badge which I got posted for donating 20 quid to the last ever Caterham race. I've got it in my hand at the moment. It says #refuel Caterham F1. Did not work.
I think Flood donated to that. I think he got a tote bag or something.
Yeah, I think that's what my dad got. My dad got a tote bag. I got the fucking badge. I didn't even get the postcard signed by Will Stevens.
That could be worth a lot of money. No, it actually couldn't. But I read something today.
Someone's devalued a good unsigned photo of Will Stevens.
Yeah, I read something today that made me think, hang on a minute, this could be the case, because we know that FOM and the FIA are at each other's throats, as usual. And the FIA gave the go-ahead for Andretti, subject to FOM. And is this Formula One turning around to the FIA and saying, no, fuck you, we're doing things our way? And Andretti are just a collateral casualty.
Pawn, yeah. That's a really good point. I didn't really think about it that way.
Yeah, I didn't. It was somebody wrote it in the comments on the story about it on Autosport.
I like you were saying just now, Lee, I thought it was greed. I thought it was, instead of growing the pie, we're going to keep our pie in 10 exact segments. We don't want to risk it going into 11th segment in case we don't grow 10% of the pie by bringing in Andretti. But it'll be short-term pain for long-term gain, surely. Andretti's going to bring in so much money.
Yep.
But the thing is, what makes it even worse is they've said, try again for 2028. Oh, there's a podcat. Now, they said try again for 2028, which conveniently is the first year of the next Concord Agreement, when they can put the dilution fee up to whatever the hell they want. At the moment, it's 200 million, which a new team's got to pay into the pot, and every existing team gets 20 million of it, or a share, depending on where they finished last year, or whatever complicated arrangement Formula One want to have.
Yeah.
But when the new Concord Agreement comes in, just to stop any other new teams trying to get in, they could try and put that up to $500 million.
Well, it's talk that Sorry, I was just going to say there was talk of they're looking at $600 million at one point this year, weren't they? Wasn't that meant to be the fee last year? I should say.
Well, no, that's what Andretti actually offered, rather than the 200 million, just to prove how serious they were.
Yeah.
So what they're going to do? Go even greedier and increase it from that?
There's a $1,000 leaving Springfield tax.
It is one of them.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
It's stupid. It's so stupid. I'm so angry about it.
They've got a guaranteed audience and fan base in America straight away without having to introduce a fourth race at the fucking Chicago Street Circuit, which is an absolute fucking waste of time. It's all straights and 90-degree corners. It's effectively two ovals stitched together.
I've never been to Chicago.
I've only seen the map of it, and I saw the race on I saw the NASCAR race that they had, where not even a regular NASCAR driver won it. Shane Van Gisbergen from Aussie Supercars.
Oh yeah,
made his NASCAR debut and demolished the entirety of the field.
They might be saying more about the NASCAR field than Chicago, though.
Yeah, but it was a crap track. And I mean the whole story of the Chicago circuit was a concept put together by iRacing, and then NASCAR took a look at it and went, "Oh, that'd work." So they set it up.
That's you see, that sort of stuff is what F1 should be learning. Every time a new livery is released, and you go, I saw 10 different mock-ups of that, and all 10 of them looked better by some scruffy 17-year-old with acne in a basement. They looked better than what you've done there. At least the fans had a say there, and they went, this would be fun. At least they listened and went, yeah, okay, yeah, well, let's do that then. Why not? Give it a shot. I like that.
I'd just like to point out that Team 3 Legs 4 Wheels liveries are done by somebody who isn't a scruffy, zitty 17-year-old in a basement. Steve Everson, thank you for the livery that you did for our Daytona 24F. I'm just sorry we didn't do it justice by crashing.
Sorry, Steve. Didn't mean that. So we've got. Is it half our listeners are American? Aren't
yeah.
Is that correct? So that Corey reference I made earlier, basically, bloke who came out the shower in that show, wherever it was, Dallas. Is that Dallas?
Yes,
yeah. That's the equivalent of all the drama. Yeah, but Chicago is that it? It looks nice. Is it meant to be shit?
Well, no, the circuit. It's just the circuit shit.
Oh, okay.
I've never been to Chicago, but I've seen the circuit, and it's about as imaginative as an oval.
Okay.
Just with an oval where you make turns the other way, going on the other side.
Hmm.
Do you think there's a certain amount though where we can, if we fix the cars, then the circuits will fix themselves, sort of thing?
I don't know, because I'm not a fan of too many street races, because streets aren't designed with racing cars in mind. When you get an actual circuit, let's pull one out of the air randomly. How about Sepang?
Mm-hmm.
Then you look at that, and there's sections of the circuit that have been designed to challenge the way the cars take fast corners, challenge the way the cars take slow corners. You can't just get a map and go, "Oh, that's a nice looking shape. I reckon that'll look great for a road course," like they've done in Madrid, which has been compared to the Gran Tours Ibolodrome because it is a very similar shape.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, this whole thing of all these new street circuits coming in, I'm not a fan.
No, I think we're going to hit a limit of street circuits, aren't we? Not because I massively dislike street circuits. I just think there's only so many you can have, and we will do before we will want the more creative freedoms offered by a Sepang, a Kota, whatever, you know.
The only thing I'd say with street circuits is Formula One. I don't know if it's Formula One or circuits in general appear to be, because obviously nobody wants dangerous circuits. It's not what I'm trying to say, but we want circuits that punish drivers for making mistakes without having the hideous big runoffs. So it doesn't matter if they go off, with these constant battles with where the edge of the circuit is. At least street circuits solve those issues.
I mean, gravel would solve those issues.
Yeah, but they won't put gravel on circuits because we're terribly worried about cars now. It's even though Formula One cars are the safest they've ever been. So at least street circuits solve that issue. I'm with you. I don't want a whole season of street circuits. I do think you could. I think you could 50-50 it, and it'd be fine.
Like Albert Park.
No, as in like amount, like
like 12 each, something like that.
Yeah. So if you had. If we ran,
so with the way that Formula One wants it, you'd have say 20 street circuits and 20 racetracks.
Yes, yeah, about that.
Where are we racing this Tuesday? Tonight or next week? Tonight. Well, we're racing at the downtown San Antonio Drome.
There's a couple of tight corners on that one.
But I do think it's mostly down to cars. I mean, like if Formula E wasn't Formula E, it wouldn't hurt the championship. The fact that they're all street circuits. They're
not street circuits. It's concrete blocks in a car park.
But the problem is, well, yeah, they're a step down.
Oh, Berlin! That year where
Kieran, I'm quoting you with that. That was one of yours.
It was just nonsense at Berlin. The COVID year where they went, we've got to finish this Formula E championship. We have to we're racing marbles for fuck's sake. We need to finish the actual Formula E. And they rented out Tempelhof Airport for 9 days and went, 6 races in 9 days? Yeah, that'll do it. Change for concrete blocks, turn them round. It was like your first track creator on N64 F1, you know? Nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
I'm going back further than that. I remember Racing Destruction set on the Commodore 64.
Wow.
I just moved in with Jane. I moved in with Jane just as the lockdown happened, and I had to try and convince her that Formula E was worth watching. And I think it was by about yeah, I know. By about
starting a relationship with a lie. That's not a way to
go. Can I just point out, as I repeatedly do, it was down to the first Formula E race where everyone tried to kill each other that we actually started the whole concept of 3 legs, 4 wheels.
They definitely tried to kill each other at the last corner. Up until that point, kind of a snooze fest.
Yeah. I was on a train I was going away for like a guy's weekend or something. I was on the train reading a tweet saying, Dole, Heifeld's going to win. The next 12 tweets say, what in the living fuck? OMG, what's just happened? My dad's just sent me a text with 13 exclamation marks. What just happened? That's Degrassi one.
But that's the thing. If F1 ends up going down that route of, street circuits, I mean, for God's sake, they got bloody Herman Tilke to remodel Baku.
And
there's Tilke tracks that they're not even using anymore.
Yeah, some of them are shit though.
Okay, some of them are shit. I will definitely give you that.
Who doesn't like the Buddha International Circuit?
I mean, did you see all the grief Moso GP had with it this year or last year? They did not get on well with that circuit.
Well, I mean,
did they race there?
They did, and they did it like in peak temperature. It was about 50 degrees. I think the track hasn't really been used since F1, so was not 100% ready. I think a couple of the riders passed out. It was flawless.
The ones that were actually allowed to get into the country in time for the first practice session.
Oh, yeah, they did have some visa issues.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another innovation that's come out this week. F1 and MotoGP want to hold a joint weekend somewhere.
Oh, what?
No.
I mean,
that's a different fan set. There's some
Yeah.
overlap, but yeah.
I think that's
It
cool.
looks good on paper, but I think logistically it's going to be a nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah, bearing in mind the average Formula One ticket for half an hour at trackside costs the same as an entire weekend paddock pass for MotoGP.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
Yeah, Friday at Silverstone was the same cost as the whole Isle of Wight Festival last year. Mad.
See that's one of the things I do like about street circuits is done properly. They do give people better access to the sport.
Yes, but it's the sport that you're getting on them that's at issue.
Yeah, well, I've had this thought here when it comes because I'm not just coming out sort of being full on street circuit lover because it's not the case. But we've had a few dud like Spa races, for instance, over the last few years. Yeah. Now Spa used to be you could take that one to the bank. Spa was going to give you a banger like every time.
Yeah, usually because it'd rain.
Yeah. But no, even so, the track was good for overtaking. It was a mix of like high downforce and like big long straights, and there was that balance which usually gave us like decent races. I do wonder the more the cars are moving towards this modern way of Formula One, if the circuits like that, the reason they're not giving us those races anymore is because the cars don't suit those circuits anymore.
Well, I mean, it's been a bugbear of ours over the last few years. The cars can't follow each other just because of the air coming from the car in front, which is why you don't get nose-to-tail racing.
Mm-hmm.
Spa definitely was. The major design on that was in a completely different era when it was all about power rather than gluing your car to the ground.
Yeah.
So the fastest car would win.
But it doesn't make sense then that the ground effect cars should have been better at Spa.
Yes, but they still haven't solved the cars can't follow problem because now, don't forget, you're still protecting your tyres.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
And you're also limiting the amount of fuel that you can have. So you can't give it full beans for every single lap. And you've got to work out when to recharge your battery and, when to back off. Spa would probably be a good race if the cars were allowed more fuel and the tyres weren't as sensitive to degradation.
Mm.
I've just fixed Formula One.
but this is the thing. We're never... all the fixes never seem to work, do they? Because like the fuel, for instance, we went through various forms of like fuel and fuel credits and all sorts. And then when we look at tyres, we decided, right, one set of tyres for a race. You put them on in fucking August. You can take them off in next year,
unless you're on Michelin's at Indianapolis.
Yeah, but we hated that. When we got rid of when tyres were too durable, we hated that. And even now, it's more exciting when you get like a 3-stop race than a 2-stop race.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, I'm not putting everything on the tyres for the reason that the cars aren't performing as close together. But what I am saying is, the fuel and the energy, lift and coast.
That's a problem. Like the fuel saving is a big problem in Formula One.
Yeah, I mean, they're given, 105 kilo tanks, but
something like that, yeah.
But,
and then they underfuel them every race.
Yeah, they underfuel them to save weight. Make it compulsory to take the full amount of fuel. You know, you've got that big space in there. It must be full at the start of the race. Weigh the bloody cars as they come out of the pits on the installation lap on the way to the grid.
Mm.
You know, if every car's got a full fuel tank, you can push more because you're not trying to save fuel.
Does every car have the same size fuel tank?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
yeah. There is a limit on the size of the fuel tank. Not some teams even use less. I think there was one year, Marussia, even with a full tank, could only do 95% of the race.
I remember that they started the race knowing they couldn't finish it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, they needed a safety car to get through or get lapped 3 or 4 times, which usually happened.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this has always been the case, hasn't it? That some engines have just been a bit thirstier than others, but you have to underfuel by the same amount as those who have the more sort of economical engine, because otherwise you're going to be heavier and you're not going to keep up. It's a tricky one.
So have a set fuel minimum.
I suppose, how do you police that before the race though? Because like, if you weigh the car, that's the car. It's not going to be the fuel cell that you're weighing.
No, but you'll weigh the car without the fuel cell and you weigh the car with the fuel cell.
But then, how do you know they've not sort of like snuck in like a sandbag?
Then you go back to the reason that Tyrrell got disqualified from an entire championship by putting a lead shot in the fuel tank. Yeah, it's one of them that's impossible to solve because teams will always find a loophole.
You know how very often they'll bring out a celebrity to wave the checkered flag or something at their home city, their home race or something like that. Just looking through the notable
quality.
Yeah, Pele. Just looking through the notable people of Chicago. Do you want Kanye West, Hugh Hefner, or R. Kelly?
Ooh.
None of the above. Well, Hugh Hefner's dead.
They've got a lot of sports teams in Chicago. I'm sure they can.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray's a great shout.
As long as he does the Donald Duck impression again.
He's not on this list, Bill Murray.
He is a fan of their sports team. I cannot remember which one.
The Cubs.
Is it the Cubs?
Yeah.
Sure,
Bill Murray's from Chicago.
I still see more.
Sing at their song at their events. He might not actually be from there. He might just like their hospitality.
I still think it's more likely that Hugh Hefner would do it than R. Kelly.
Bill Murray is from Evanston, Illinois, which is in Cook County, which is where Chicago is.
Okay.
I mean, all right, I'm saying Chicago's no good for car action, but fucking hell, the Blues Brothers. Now, if the F1 race was like the chase scene at the end of the Blues Brothers, somebody back me, you have seen it.
Have I?
Yes.
Nope.
I saw it when I was about 11.
I think I need to see a movie at least 3 times before I remember it. I'm like a child learning a new word. I very, very rarely remember movies after one watch.
Right, we'll watch it again. I've got the DVD.
You've just given license to 2 more viewings of Blues Brothers, you realise?
Oh.
I'm on attempt 1 of George of the Jungle with Jane.
I won that on VHS at work years ago and swapped it for a bottle of Jack Daniels.
I love that film. I'm not even going to say you made the right decision. I love George of the Jungle.
I love Jack Daniels.
So yeah, where were we? Formula One.
Fixing Formula One or having it fixed, or is it fixed?
It's not just Chicago. It's Madrid, isn't it? That's what has also happened. We're going to have Madrid from 2026. And the discourse over this is awkward because we spent years going, oh God, bloody hell, Barcelona, Catalunya, bored of it now. Oh, okay, we're back to Madrid. It looks like.
The thing is with Barcelona, didn't happen in 2023, but because the pre-season tests are always there, You always know what you're going to get because they've had 6 days of driving around there, occasionally at full chat.
Yeah.
So you look at the testing results and you look at the fastest laps, and then well, that's what the grid's going to look like, and it usually does.
Mm.
You know, last year and this year, it's going to be look at the fastest laps at Bahrain, and well, that's what the grid's going to look like.
Mm.
They shouldn't have the pre-season test a circuit that's on the calendar.
No, absolutely.
Controversial opinion.
Interesting, yeah.
We were talking about this in our sort of group chat, weren't we? That I would happily take Bahrain for the race and not the test beforehand. Give the test to Catalonia and then do the race at Bahrain. But then there's others where you probably would rather have the test session than the race there.
Monaco.
Monaco, yeah. I said it in the group chat. 4 days of unrivaled testing from Monaco. Full on disruption. No one goes midsummer. When's Cannes on? We'll do it then. We'll do it when it troubles Monegasque. Oh dear, yeah.
Leclerc.
Yeah.
I think Paul Ricard could be another drop it from the calendar, just test at it track.
Oh yeah, totally.
I mean, to give it the official name, the Paul Ricard test track.
Well, yeah.
What's in a name?
Yeah, because I think Pirelli is still running the occasional tyre test there.
Probably, yes. They've got the funny stripes.
They've got the stripes and they've got the sprinklers. So they're guaranteed to be able to do wet weather testing.
I happened upon a cycling race on Eurosport the other day where one of the bits that they cycled through was the Paul Ricard circuit before carrying on, or it might have been Fishline, I can't remember. And the commentator, she said, Formula One's not my bag, but I have it on good authority that the Grand Prix de la France is held here. I was like, well, there's about 4 things wrong with that sentence. Let's start with the fact that it fucking isn't. And then let's go with de la France. Pedro de la Spain.
Surely Pedro de la Red.
Yeah. Pedro de la, those emails did not take place. What are you on about?
Yeah, there'll be a general alert going out to all photocopy shops in the Oxfordshire area, just in case somebody in a Mercedes race suit turns up and says, can you just copy these designs for us, please?
Yeah. So Brackley newsagents on lockdown from this point on.
What else were we going to say? Oh, yes, Gunter Steiner has gone from Haas.
Yeah.
Gunter Steiner.
Yes, nicely done.
Brilliant.
I mean, yeah, they haven't been the most successful team, but now they are.
Understatement.
They did better than Caterham.
Do you know what? There was a truly depressing thing on the Race podcast a few weeks ago talking about this, where I didn't realize this, but they explained that Haas Automotive has done real well since Haas joined Formula One. And the reason Gene Haas won't sell the team is because essentially them being in Formula One is really good business for him. And they don't have to do well for it to be good business for him. So you've got a permanently underfunded team that Gene doesn't want to put any money into it because essentially for him, it's still doing the job that he wants it to do.
Yeah, I mean, he said at the start, it's just one massive advert for the automotive tooling company.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Gene, this is a fucking sport and not a sandwich board.
The problem is, of course, he's got the NASCAR team as well, which are considerably more successful.
But don't NASCAR teams run on like £11 a race or something like that?
No, it's dropped down to a tenner now because you don't need to put gaffer tape on the front of the car.
It's the only professional motorsport where the drivers have got to pay their subs before they can go in.
the tape thing. That just amazed me about NASCAR. To make the car go faster, you put gaffer tape over the radiator. It blows the engine, but during qualifying, the previous generation of cars, they used to completely tape up the front of the radiator, and it overheated the engine, so the car would actually run quicker.
Crazy.
Yeah.
The peak of technology.
Yeah. But
I suppose it solves their sisters having to blow for a while.
I was going to make a sister joke, but I remembered that 52% of American listenership and thought, I'll play it safe.
No, you're all right. Most of them are in the north.
Oh, that's okay then. Not like the cousin shagging south system. I'm from the Isle of Wight. We're brothers in arms, ladies and gentlemen. Except I've never done it.
Yep, enough fingers for 3 arms apiece.
Give me 6. No, it's I've got what we're talking about now.
Incest.
Before the incest.
Has been effectively a waste of space.
And losing Gunter.
Now that they've got
F1.
Yeah, now they've got rid of the personality. They are the Ken team. Utterly plastic and nothing in a certain area.
What is the point of a Haas? I don't understand. They're not doing anything. If Haas was created to market some tools, then they're crap at it. They're rubbish. And it sucks because there's still 200 people who work for an F1 team with one very good driver, and you're wasting people's careers, because if your ambition is not to get anywhere, then congratulations, you've succeeded your ambition, but no one has that ambition for a reason.
Did I tell you about
disagree that? Sorry, just quickly, I disagree with that, Kieran, because you've got Mick Schumacher. You've got Kevin Magnussen. You've got Roman Grosjean. They were marketing tools for years.
I mean, Haas spending no money. Did I tell you about the job advert I saw a couple of weeks ago?
No.
It was for an IT support worker. So part of the job was system maintenance, answering tech support queries, basically keeping all the computers working. Other duties may involve world travel, lifting up to 50 pounds in weight, and repeated twisting motions.
Twisting motions.
Yeah, so basically they want
to do a pit stop.
Yeah, basically they wanted somebody to say, have you tried turning it off and on again, and be on pit crew.
It's like cleaner wanted could involve aerodynamic car design.
No, I'm not saying that all techies are clinically unfit. Just that I am, but there are. I work in a tech company that's actually got an on-site gym, and there are people that use it. But I mean,
I've seen the IT crowd. They didn't double up for the pit crew at an F1 team.
Yeah, but pit crew are usually mechanics, engineers, people like that. People who are actually used to, well, lifting things and knowing how a car works. But no, they want their IT support staff to be on the tyres.
It does seem a strange choice.
Yeah. My dad had an apprentice, and my dad used to be an apprentice assessor, and he had an apprentice who went off and worked on Kevin Magnussen's McLaren back in 2014 or so. And,
what were his IT skills like?
Yeah, hopefully better, given how Kevin Magnussen's first season F1 went. But no, he was. I can't remember what he did now, but I just remember watching a Ted's Notebook and my dad jumping up as if he'd just seen a ghost, going, "That's him! That's him! That's him!" Who? My apprentice. Oh, yeah. You know,
he was the one that didn't get fired.
Yeah, yeah. The one who did get fired, of course, being Kevin Magnussen
on his birthday. Yeah, Ron Dennis binned him on his actual birthday. Right, have we got anything else that we've missed?
Visa Cash App, VCarb.
Oh, the new name for Alpha Toro, Ross Bull Cash.
Minardi.
Toro Rosso.
Yeah,
I quite like VCarb. Reminds me of carbs.
Sounds like a rapper.
VCarb. Well, funny you say that, because some of the rappers which come from Chicago, according to the list in front of me, one's actually called Rhymefest. What are you calling yourself? Rhymefest. No, you're not. No.
What was that? Rhyme Fest or Rhyme or Rhine?
Rhyme as in RH, not rind as in pork rind.
No, I thought you said RHINE as in the German river.
Rhymefest. That's a metal festival if you've ever heard one.
I'm going to say, didn't Sabaton headline that last year?
Yeah, VCarb. I quite like VCarb. I'm into that.
Yeah. Again, Team Pointless, but they are going to be a separate entity this year, allegedly.
And apparently, according to something I heard the other day, they've just been given last year's Red Bull, and it's actually going to work this year, they think. So the big surprise could be Yuki and Danny.
Interesting. But we've thought this every year, though.
Every test, yeah. It happens every test.
Don't look for them at the start of the season. Oh, hang on.
Don't look for them at the end of the season. Look for them in the predictions before the start of the testing.
That could be a terrible thing, though, couldn't it? You know, if you were, like Force India managed to do with Mercedes.
Yeah.
But when you look at the advantage Red Bull had last year, if they give like last year's car to Toro Rosso this year, and they can like get themselves as like third, second best team, it's just close the book on Formula One. It's done. It's just done.
I mean, don't forget though, when Force India remade the Mercedes, they actually did all the drawings in crayon, so the edges weren't exactly smooth.
Yes.
Why is this bit rubbed out? Ignore that.
Yeah,
imagine how brilliant it would have been had AlphaTauri get given last year's Red Bull, then Red Bull fuck this year's car. Yuki's won 6 on the bounce. Max qualified 17th.
Yeah, Yuki's won 6 on the bounce, and he's still angry for some reason.
Yeah. Yuki Tsunoda, champion of the world. Yeah, shut up.
But talking of predictions, by the way, when we come back next time, which is going to be a week on Monday, because I need to buy some new hardware, and it's coming from Germany, so it's not going to get here too quick. We will not only be launching the 2024 Prediction League, but we'll also be giving the results of the 2023 Prediction League out, because I've just realised we haven't actually done a show since the end of the season. So, sorry, Gennady, you're going to have to wait another 10 days, but the results will be done. Just wanted to get that in there. I think we've just about covered everything that's kind of happened in the last couple of weeks while we've not been here.
I think so.
Can I just go for one thing, if it's not to jump in and hijack with a prediction? If everyone was to name the driver who will replace Lewis at Mercedes, who do you think it will be?
Alex Albon.
I think logically it will be Albon, but I've just got a feeling on Alonso.
I understand your Alonso feeling.
Lee, you're not allowed to say Jenson Button is doing WEC this year.
It's Jenson Button in all of our hearts.
How long is Ricciardo's contract?
No one quite knows, do they?
Yeah.
Because he came in sort of that mid-season situation.
And he was contracted to Red Bull for some time.
Yeah.
Because I can't help but think that if he can really rescue himself this year, really rescue himself, he'll be in a strong position, because for Mercedes to take Ricciardo, it fixes two problems for them. If Ricciardo fixes himself to where he could be a good number 2 for Red Bull, it fixes a problem for Mercedes because it takes a good number 2 away from Red Bull, and it fixes their driver problem.
Yeah.
So
you're harming your closest rival and fixing your own problem.
Yeah.
How dedicated do you think Red Bull would be to Daniel Ricciardo over Sergio Perez? And if they do take Ricciardo, is Perez an option for Mercedes?
No.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
I'm going with Alex Albon.
I'm glad we all agree on Perez.
My God.
Well, the Sergio Perez marketing board hasn't worked this year, has it?
Perez is on a one-way ticket to Williams.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think he's going to see the season out. There was all the speculation last year. Helmut Marko said that he wasn't going to get rid of him during last season, but we'll see what happens next year.
Mercedes could be a bloody good bargaining tool for Ricciardo. But saying that, though, if you... Again, this all revolves around... Because you've kind of got to forget about McLaren Ricciardo, because McLaren Ricciardo derailed his career. But everything up to that, even Renault Ricciardo, it was clearly the Renault that was at fault, and he was still multi-Grand Prix winning Daniel Ricciardo, who just needed the car.
Yeah. The ironic and annoying thing being, of course, the second year's Renault was a lot better, and he already pre-signed an agreement to go to McLaren by that point.
I know, yeah. But that's the thing. If you're Ricciardo, even if Red Bull is the best car, you'd go to Mercedes. Because at least, on form, Mercedes treat their drivers equally. Whereas if he goes to he knows he's going to Red Bull to be Max Verstappen's Felipe Massa,
which has already been once before. So that is a step backwards. Even though he's coming to it from 5 steps backwards.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to be an interesting one.
I think you can make a case for you. Usually, it's pretty obvious which are the drivers that fit in, in the cars that they're meant to fit in. But you can make a good case for Mercedes, I think, for Albon, Sainz, Ricciardo, Alonso. All the top guys now. There's so many people on the grid, which I think could be potential world champions, that you almost can't miss on that upper, the top half of the grid to the upper midfield. Any of those people could take a world championship competitor as of a team.
Yeah. It's almost a shame there's only one seat going, because right now that could be, I was about to say Rosberg, that could be Ricciardo, it could be Albon, it could be Sainz. There is a shout for all of them. Piastri are chucking in there as well, potentially. You need another year to show that Piastri is the real deal, but there's some seriously good talent there, and one seat going at a hallmark team. It's almost a shame.
And then watch Antonelli go and win every race in F2 by 30 seconds. And it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah. We're bringing back Kimi. Hooray! Antonelli. Yeah, mad. See, I'll say Albon, but I kind of want Albon to go there because I haven't really liked Mercedes in the success era, and I want a reason to like Mercedes again. And that's not to besmirch George too much. I like someone that I like, and the person I like is Albon.
Yeah. I've always had a soft spot for Mercedes since they gave us the factory tour.
Yes. Yeah, my head says Albon for that drive. Big friends with George Russell as well. So yeah.
Well, no,
that helps big time.
Yeah, you can choose your friends. You can't choose your family.
I wonder if Albon will do a Rosberg and change the flag he races under. Because he doesn't consider himself
Italian.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant Lewis for a second.
No, Albon, because he doesn't consider himself Thai, does he? He's British.
Well, he has strong Thai respect, doesn't he?
Because it's his mum's family that's Thai. I thought he was sort of more estranged from the dad's side.
No, I thought he was born. He was born in England.
He was born in England. He was born and brought up in England, but yeah, I don't think he has any sort of connection to his dad's family anymore.
He raced under a British flag for his whole career. It was just for sponsorship, wasn't it? Going to Formula One. So yeah. I've just always wondered whether he'll Rosberg it.
He's a Battersea.
No, I reckon he'll stick with it.
He's from Battersea.
It's like Jack Aitken though. Some series is British, some series is Korean.
And as they were discussing at Daytona, sometimes he's Scottish.
Like Cal Crutchlow, he was Manx when he was on the bike, and then he was English again when he fell off it.
Yeah, like that well-known British Wimbledon winner Andy Murray, and that well-known Scottish first-round loser Andy Murray. Right, I think we have definitely covered everything now. We've come back with an hour and a half. We've come back strong.
Yeah,
I would say. We'll be back. It'll be a week on Tuesday when we get the new hardware sorted out. Thank you for sticking with us over the winter. I'm sorry we've been so irregular. It's just anything that could go wrong did go wrong, and I am including a laptop motherboard burning out and tonight the thing we plug our microphones into at Three Legs Towers. So if we've sounded a little off, we're on shall we say the C kit?
Yes, definitely a different setup.
Yeah, but things will be back to normal. If you want to get in touch, usual rules apply. 3legs4wheels@gmail.com, at 3legs4wheels on the socials. Nobody was having a stroke when they came up with our handles for any of them. And join in on Discord as well. If you have a look at the links there on the website, 3legs4wheels.com. If you want to support us, then you can go to patreon.com/3legs4wheels, get the show a little early, zero advertising when we do have sponsors. And should we do some extra porn next show?
Always.
We can give it a go.
Because we got.
Sorry, for the listener who's tuned in for the mad Hamilton Ferrari thing, that's never listened to this before. They've gone OnlyFans. They're doing.
What? Got to hustle.
We've got two chapters into the Daniel Ricciardo fanfic. And we need to find out what happens during and I still remember this, and I don't know why, and I want to do damage to myself for still knowing what it's called. The Coca-Cola Wrangler Jeans Kentucky Grand Prix. I can promise you, I've not read any more of that book since November when we read it last, so we can delve into that next time. Won't that be fun, everybody?
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
Yeah, and I think we'll have Flood back as well, so he's in for one hell of a show. All right, we'll see.
Sorry for what the show's become. I'll leave.
We will see you in about a week and a half. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.